Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Vanessa Vargas. On behalf of Serenade, I want to thank you for attending this training. Today, we're going to talk about e-filing and document assembly. And if you're new, if this is the first time that you're joining a live webinar, know that we are recording the session and we keep the videos in our YouTube channel called Serenade Academy, which we suggest you subscribe to. And also, if you click on the GoToWebinar handout section, I have a PowerPoint presentation that I'll be using today that you can download. I highly recommend you do because I have different links that you can click on later after the training and share with your team. Okay. Today, before we cover e-filing, I do want to explain what the basic steps are before you get to e-file the forms, how the forms auto-populate. So I'll show you the basic steps and what the alternate view is, and then maybe even before you e-file the form, how you can send the form for the client to review. And also I'm going to show you, of course, the steps for e-filing from like installing the component, what do what to do if you're a Mac user, scheduling the form. Obviously depends on the type of form that you're filing, such as, USCIS versus ETA 989 or DS 160. Of course, it's going to be a different website, but the process is pretty similar, except for like intake form wizards. It's important that you know like the I-90, N400, and I-130 require the use of intake form wizard. So I'm going to explain. And again, I have all these links so that you can click on them later after the training. I don't know if you know this, but with the e-filing module, you are also able to import data from the CBP website. Okay, so that's important to note too. And finally, if you don't necessarily want to file, but you want to prepare a package, we have the document assembly. All of you have access to it. You don't need to pay extra, or like it's not an optional module. The document assembly, in fact, I'll show you, has been recently enhanced. And again, that will help you to pretty much put together the package with all the forms and the cover letters and evidence. And yeah, I'll show you how to do that. Okay. All right. So let's begin. I'm gonna log in into my caseworker portal. And so let's get to the basic steps. Again, if you're new, these are the basic 3 steps. We suggest that you create a contact on the top left. You create a contact for your client, or it could be start with a prospect and switch the status. But this is the first step, creating a contact. And it looks like this. I'm going to access an existing contact just to show you. Let me close this. So this is the main database, I guess, or like the main area of the system where I feel like if you enter the data for your client, this is what we pull it from. So it's important that you enter as much information as possible. Okay. Usually clients, if your client's in front of you, you can go through the consultation, ask the questions like what's your name, like go field by field. Um, or you could also use the alternate view. On the right hand side, I clicked on alternate view, and then I see the different questionnaires. Again, if you're new, I want you to know that you can create your own questionnaires. You can have any questionnaires you want. It doesn't have to be just immigration. We have clients that use the system for non-immigration cases. But anyways, I mean, you can have your questionnaires with your logo, and you can, of course, go through the consultation, ask them questions, and even I suggest that you print this after you type all the information so that they can sign a paper and confirm, yeah, this is the information that I'm giving you, like everything looks fine. Um, don't forget to save your changes before you switch to a different questionnaire. For example, okay, well, now we have the basic info. Let's talk about specific information for like the N400, for example, like the background questions. And you can customize it so that you have specific instructions like we only need your last 5 years, or upload your passport PDF only. Like, again, I highly recommend that you look into the administrative portal to customize your own questionnaires because it's a lot easier. Especially I suggest that you use let me scroll down, trying to find the ones that here. We do have questions that are created for like specific forms such as the N400 that you can use like these. And if your clients are not tech savvy and you want to give them the paper form of the questionnaire, what you can do is click on the left where it says create questionnaire. You can select print and view. By the way, you can also sort them by different matters. And for example, let's go back to that one, like N400 questions in English, Spanish, or Chinese. I mean, you can limit the languages options here. So anyways, I can translate and then print. So I can give them the paper version of the questionnaire in Spanish, have them bring it back with all the answers, and then it's a lot easier for me to just do the data entry. So that is my suggestion. Either you enter the information in the different fields or different sections that we have here in the menu on the right hand side, or that you use the alternate view. Okay. Or of course, the best scenario is like client is tech savvy. Let me just send the questionnaire and have them enter the data themselves. Of course. So if you do want that, make sure that you have their email or cell phone, and sometimes you can even just copy the link and paste it on WhatsApp. If you open WhatsApp web, copy paste the link, have them click on the link, access the questionnaire, they'll submit it. You just need to accept it, and all the information they type, it auto-populates here in the system, and then it auto-populates the forms. Okay, so that's kind of like step number one, creating the contact, entering data. We also have on, step number two on the menu on the right hand side, we have a section called members, and these members are the children or the joint sponsor, um, spouse, employer, anyone, parents, because their information is also required, even though they're not the beneficiaries or they're not our clients, but you still want to link them as a contact. So create a contact for the family member, but don't give them a client number because they're not a client, but you still create a contact profile and enter or select a relationship. This is a daughter, the son, again, spouse, so you can choose from this list and then click link. That way, when you get to the form, if the form is asking for children information based on the relationship type, the system will transfer the corresponding data. So you don't have to necessarily complete the entire profile for the members, but it's super helpful. And of course, if they become a client in the future, you already have a profile for them. So step number three, after you create the contact, you have linked the members. Step three is when you create the actual matter. You're going to create the case. Okay, this is when you click on create cases, you select your department, your area of practice, the process, all of these can be customized. I'll just select um, type of grant. I mean, these can be customized. Remember, if from the administrator portal, you can customize all these drop-down menus. Your information as the attorney will transfer to the forms. If you have an interpreter as well, you can select. Now for the role, I mean, I picked a naturalization case. I'm gonna select alien, but for if you guys are handling an employment-based case, then for the employer, you select employer. That way you can choose the branch and you can choose the signatory. Okay. If it's a family-based case, then of course you can select petitioner. But that would be the only difference between family and employment-based cases. Okay. If there's any derivatives, of course, you can just select that option too. And I'm going to click next. I've got the forms that I need. Also, please pay attention to this. I highly recommend, I briefly mentioned this in the beginning of this training, that if it's the N400, I-90, or I-130, you will need this intake form wizard. So you might as well just have it by default so you don't have to add it manually. So if you plan on e-filing an N400, you will need this one, okay, the intake form wizard. All right, so let's create the case. And let me know if you guys have any questions at this point. Let me know if the basic 3 steps were clear too. We have a section where you can ask me questions too. All right, thank you so much for those who voted. I'll continue. Thank you so much for participating in the poll. All right, so next, I'm going to show you how to auto-populate the forms. And then after that, we'll cover the e-filing. Okay, so when you are ready to open the form, click on the name of the person because that way you can open separate tabs. I like to have her contact profile open, or I can review information, make changes if necessary, and I can also go back to the actual case matter where I can open the form. If I open the regular N400, which is what I'm going to be using today for the exercise. Okay, let's wait. All right, so this is the actual, paper version of the form, of course. And notice that on the left here it says alien info goes here. That's why I told you to select alien and not beneficiary or any other, because I knew that the N400 was expecting the alien info, so I picked alien as a role. And here's the information for my client populating, and again, everything transfers depending on the information or the selection. Of course, you still have to go through the form. One thing I recommend for this type of form, if you guys go into your administrator portal, let me show you. I didn't have this, by the way, it's not in my PowerPoint, but I just thought about it. Let me quickly show you because I think it's going to help you so much. Go to your admin. Let me open the administrator portal. This is the administrator. You probably don't have access to it, but in the admin, we have a feature called form defaults or defaults. If you add the form, so I'm going to search for the form N400. I'm going to select. Notice that I didn't enter the letter or the dash, just the number. So I open the form and I want to customize the values, meaning, hey, you know what? Every time that I do an N400, I want, I think it's on page 11 actually. Yeah, I want all these answers to be marked with a no. So I don't have to do these manually, like answer them manually. So I'm just gonna answer no by default and then change that to a yes. Now, because I modified this now, I mean, after I created the case, it won't affect, it won't update the form. It's moving forward. So in this situation, the form that I had um, open, of course, is not going to change. I had done this before, so some of them are customized. But yeah, please check that. If you are taking notes, write down form defaults and then watch the video in our user's guide. It will give you, it's going to save you so much time because most of your clients are going to say no to these questions. So you might as well just, customize it. And if they say yes on any of these, then you can just select the answer and change that. Okay. Also remember, we have questionnaires that ask these questions. So if my client responded yes to some of these questions, then we will transfer the yes. So it takes priority over the defaults. Anyway, so we have the form ready. I'm going to save the form. If there's anything that I need to modify in the form, for example, like I just did with the yes or no, of course, the idea is that you change the database so that you don't have to keep changing this over and over again. Okay. For example, let's say the date of birth. I will switch the tab, go to my client's profile, and change it here. So let's say the correct date of birth is this one. And I'll just save it, go back to the form, and refresh. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but on the forms, we have the select red button, select party button. Click on that select button for party on demand, click replace alien, and click on the name of the person. You are refreshing the data or updating the information after you make the change. So now, after I click on select party, replace alien, and click on the name of the person, I can, let's go to page 2. You see, the date of birth has been updated. I don't have to keep changing that information on every single form. All right, so let me just save this form. I don't know why it's kind of slow. Now, if you're new, we do have tools. I'll just mention them. We have the ability to create a poster or sticky note on the form, and you can print the form without them, so it's up to you. You may also type anywhere on the form. You could also reduce the size of the font manually, although technically when you type information, if there's anything that doesn't fit, the system will shrink it automatically for you and create the addendum too. This also helps if I am done with the form and I want to replace blank spaces with NA, for example. I'll just click replace and it goes throughout the form and replaces any blank spaces with NA. I don't know why my internet connection is slower than usual. Okay, here we go. Now see, so it's auto-populating the blank spaces. Excuse me. Okay, let's save the form. Let me know if you guys have any questions at this point, okay? Also, if you look at the last page of the form, we have these edit additional entries button. So if you click there, you can choose which additional entries you want to select. So I can select maybe just the last 5 years of addresses, and I don't know, like the system will auto-populate the corresponding page, part, and item number for you. I don't have to do that manually. Okay, so now I'm going to save and close. And let me see. Oh, okay. And then I need to send the form to my client for reviewing purposes. My recommendation is this. Do not send the regular N400. Let's send them the intake form wizard, okay? How do we do that if we worked on the N400? Well, we need to transfer the content from this to this other form. And the way you do it is you click on select, transfer data to associated forms. So from the actual N400, I'm going to select transfer to the intake form wizard and click transfer data. So anything that I worked on the N400, it's now here. Let's take a look. If we open the intake form wizard, I apologize. I don't know. Maybe I'm too impatient, but it's the area of instant gratification and we're just so impatient. All right, so I'm just going to select, oops, see how the NA transfer already. I'll just select no for now. Okay, so the information is transferring to the intake form wizard. You could also click on the left-hand side if you want to go straight to the specific sections, I guess, which is pretty similar to what you guys will see on the USCIS website, by the way. So this is the intake form wizard. And again, the information is transferring. I could add a post-it, for example, here. Please confirm this is the correct date of birth. And maybe add my initials or so I can send this to my client or my consulting attorney or my assistant. I mean, anyone who's going to review the form. I will save the form with my instructions and my sticky notes. I actually always kind of like recommend that on the first page you have like a large sticky note, with any specific instructions with expectations or like, please do this, blah, blah, blah. So they know what you're expecting, from them. All right, so let's just save and close. I'm going to select to send it to my client. Let me know if you guys have any questions. You can message me or chat me your questions. All right, so how do we do that? On the left, there's a box or Boolean field. So I'm going to select the form that I want to share. And I'm going to click here, email forms as editable HTML. All right, so please log in into your client portal. I'm gonna send it to my Valeria, my client. I could add an attachment. I suggest that you do like create like a PDF, maybe with screenshots or like instructions, so that they know what to do. Although you could also have like a very specific email, like mine has my logo. It populates with the dates, the client's name, and it has instructions with what we know what to do. instead of using the default message. Anyways, I'm not technically emailing the form. I'm asking them to log in into the client portal for secure reasons. My client has to have a username and password. If you haven't done that yet, make sure that you go into their contact profile, click on client access and create their access and send them the URL, the username and password. And this is for security reasons. They have to have that in order for, you know, it's just based on the technology that we use. They can't really open this from an email. It has to be from the client portal. But here it is. So I'm sending the form. The client logged in. She's going to open the wizard and start. This is why I like the sticky notes because it's like super easy for the, I mean, I try to put myself in their shoes. If you're my attorney and you want me to do something, well, I'll gladly do it because it benefits me, of course, but tell me what to do. So this sticky note is super helpful. They can answer or ask questions, I need this, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, continue with the rest of the information, about you, contact, place of birth. So again, please confirm this is correct. Yes. Or if it's not correct, your client can also modify the information. Okay. Also tell them that if they, what did I do? Give me 1 second. I deleted that, but let me just enter again. All right, so tell them that if they want a copy, they can print it before they submit. That's very important because once they submit, it's gone. All right, so now you should have access to that questionnaire. We email you letting you know your client has sent you a form or questionnaire. So on your end, as a caseworker, you're going to click on questionnaires and forms, which is on the top right hand corner. This is where you receive the questionnaires and the forms. Okay, we tell you the name of the client, the item, the dates, and you need to accept it. Well, first let's open it. And this is where we review. If for some reason, hey, I noticed the client didn't enter what I was expecting, or there's questions, send it back. You could return it or send it back to the client. But if you're happy with the result, just accept. That way you can, let's go back. Okay, now that the form has been successfully accepted, now we can go back to the case and use that form. Let me know if you guys have any questions at this point. Um, how would you, I mean, how do you do it now? How would you like to, like, how do you prefer to capture the client's data? Do you guys send emails with questionnaires, or are you using our questionnaires? Are you using the alternate view? It really depends on the type of client. I feel like, if they're not tech savvy, well, then you can't really expect them to complete a questionnaire, right? But in that case, then you use the alternate view. Um, but you'll be surprised. We still have clients that go directly to the USCIS website. Maybe the paralegal never got a training, and that's why we do these trainings so that you guys can enforce that, because they would defeat the purpose of using the system if they are typing data directly into the forms. All right, so I'll just close because I've got more than 50% of the votes. I'll just continue. So it looks like the majority of you plan on using the alternate view. That's perfect. Okay, now let's continue with our webinar. And right now I'm going to show you the steps we have covered. If you're joining us now, we have covered the basic 3 steps. I went over the alternate view and auto-populating forms and how to send them so the clients can review. And now it's time for us to talk about the e-filing component. Okay, so let's go back. If this is the first time that you are doing this, make sure that you need to, you're gonna click on the tools and then click on e-filing. Now, make sure you check that you have access because you probably don't. You have to go to your settings on the top right corner, click on user preference, sorry, click on subscription details. And even though your account has e-filing, maybe your administrator forgot to give you access. So check that where it says e-filing, it says all. Because if it says none, then your administrator, or maybe it's you have to go into your admin, you have to click on users, you need to open the account for that paralegal who's trying to e-file, scroll down to where you see access rights, and you're going to see e-filing and make sure that you change that from none to all. Okay, so that would be kind of like the first step if this is the first time that you guys are using e-filing. Okay, second step technically would be click on the tools icon, click on e-filing, and click on launch. If this is the first time that you are using it, you need to install the component. And in order for you to do that, we have instructions here. So when you click launch, it does start the installation. And I'm just waiting for it to launch. But again, let me show you what happens when this is the first time that you are going to install. When you click launch, you're going to see a window like this, and you need to click install. Now, if you are a Mac user, you have to have an account with Parallels, or it could also be Amazon Workspaces too. But we recommend Parallels. Anyway, so that way you can have like a PC pretty much inside your Mac. That's how I see it. And that way you can install your application inside your Parallels account. Okay, for those that are joining us, I am covering e-filing steps. And if you are a Mac user, I put the link right here because if you are doing it from a Mac computer, again, here's the here's a user's guide article that shows you how to do it for a Mac, and I am referring to this system called Parallel. So we have the link for you here, and you can get an account with Parallels. Okay, let's go back. So once you install, you can have to be patient and wait a little bit, but it's only, you just do it one time. Also, it's going to ask you for your website name. So mine, of course, is Serenade. Yours is going to see law firm of John Smith, or like whatever website name we gave you when you got your site. You're going to need to copy paste it or type it here where it says website name. Let me show you mine. So it says website type, eIMMIGRATION, and I put remember me so I don't have to type this all the time, and then click login. So right now we're on that step, and then it's going to ask me to sign in. So I have to enter my credentials. Let's take a look. All right, so let me type my credentials. And then it's going to allow me to connect to the dashboard. So let me drag this from my other monitor. Right here. Okay, so let me make this a little bit smaller. So it's this is the e-filing dashboard. Now, before you access the form, you need to schedule it. So if you don't see a form here, it's because you need to schedule the form. So I'm going to show you how to schedule the form once you have the component installed and you are now ready to file the form. So let's go back to the case. Remember, we completed the form, we send it to the client, and the client review the form. We're ready now because everything is confirmed. Okay, so now we're back in the case and I'm accessing the form. Now notice we have an e-filing column, okay? So if I want to file the form, such as the G28 and 400, again, any form that has this status ready schedule, how do I know which forms are e-fileable? Well, if you click on add forms, search and add, simply click find, and then sort by the column e-fileable. In other words, if it has a check mark, you can file it online. We have the DS160, the DS260, ETA 989, all these appendixes like, USCIS forms. But again, notice that for the N400, the one that has a check mark is the intake form wizard. Same thing for the I-130. If I search I-130, it's the intake form wizard that has a check mark for e-filing purposes. So make sure you add both. Okay, now going back to my case, I have N400. I'm going to select the form. Just kidding. No, you don't have to select it. I was thinking I'm going to send it to my client, but I already did that. Just kidding. You need to click on this lock to lock it. Okay, so you lock the form, and now it should be closed. Okay, so this form, it's now locked, which means that if my other assistants are trying to modify it, they can't. It's a read-only access. Once you lock the form, you need to click on Schedule on the right-hand side. All right, so we're going to click Schedule. And now it's right here, Scheduled. Now that I've done that, and this is my case 24321, I mean 12. All right, let's go back to my dashboard for e-filing. I hope that you guys can see all my screen, but I think you are. So I have the icon. It's a green and blue window, like a square on top of another square. That's the icon for e-filing. So if you are lost, because sometimes it's hard, like Chrome, or like you have a lot going on your computer, this is how you can identify it. So click on that and then refresh. Once you refresh, the form is going to appear in your dashboard. I'm going all the way at the bottom because that's the last form that, and of course this is our testing site, so it has, uh, where did it go? And let me refresh again. I think it's, I, you know what? I might be wrong, but it looks like it's by um, case number order. So mine it's 243. Interesting. I always thought it was the other. Okay, never mind. So it's not by chronological order. All right, so I'm definitely passing this feedback to our developers. 243. Two. In the meantime, let me just make sure that you guys don't have any questions. So go ahead and vote. So I see someone raising a hand. So please submit your questions so I can assist you. I am having difficulties finding my form because it's been scheduled, but I don't see it. So let me find it while you guys type your questions. Now, keep in mind this is our testing side. We have a gazillion. So let's say I'm gonna search for the case number. Two, four. Oh, wait, I think I passed it. That's so weird. Anyways, I guess I'll use, I mean, I need to report this, but I'll use another 24312. Nope. All right, well, the good thing is that you have the filter, so you guys can find it easily if, I mean, like I have a lot. Oh, here it is. Oh, I found it. Okay. going on? Yay, I found it. Okay, sorry about the wait. Let me make sure you guys are done with the poll. 60% said no, you may continue. Okay, for the rest of you who said I do have a question, please submit your question. I know you're raising your hand, but I can't unmute you. So if you click on questions or chat, that way I can assist you. And I'm not getting any questions so far. Anyway, so what happened is I went to the dashboard, I refreshed, and I guess it takes a couple minutes, I guess. I don't know. Maybe, and also my internet connection is slower. Uh, I see that you keep raising your hand. That's not the button that you need to click on. You need to search for the chat or questions, and you are able to submit your question to me. I hope that helps. No, that's not the button. Look for chat or questions. I can't unmute you. Okay. All right. So going back to my screen, what happened is I was remember I was in my case. I select lock the form. I clicked on schedule, and then I went back to my e-filing dashboard and I refreshed. I was able to find my case because I have too many using the filter. So I clicked on the form. And now I am ready to log into the USCIS website. Of course, if you guys connect to, like if you want to file the form for the DS 160 or the DS 260, it will take you to the Department of State. Oh, you don't have any questions? Sorry, I don't know what happened. No problem. I'm glad that you found the chat though. If you have questions now, you can message me. Don't worry. Okay, so I was saying that if you guys click on the DS 160, it will take you to the Department of State website. If you click on the ETA 9089, of course, it will take you to the labor website. So that's how it works. Of course, this is a USCIS website. So let me log in. Mm, and let's get the code. You unfortunately cannot bypass this painful right procedure that you have to, or the process of getting this code. You still have to go through this. We can't change that. All right, let me make this a little bit bigger. All right, so what I'm doing is I am accessing my USCIS website, my account, and I need to, of course, add the client and access the form. Look on the left, it has the same order that we have on the intake form wizard, okay? And the difference between doing it on online directly versus with eIMMIGRATION is that you're going to click on the populate data button. And so what I'm doing here, instead of me typing the information, I'm going to click populate data, and it will update the information that I have in Serenade. So if you notice on the left, on the top, I can click on schedule form, and I can compare what I have in eIMMIGRATION. That's my sticky note. I have everything here versus the e-filing website. Okay, so you have to scroll down, click next, and then go again and click on populate data. It will transfer the information from eIMMIGRATION to the government's website. Okay, so just one step at a time. I think this is not taking it. I'll just remove that. My NA is probably, oh, based on the postal code. All right, so again, on the top, find the populate data, click, and it transfers the information. click next, and you do repeat the process until you're done. Now, let me go back to my PowerPoint. I put the link right here where it's giving you, of course, for a specific form, if you guys are doing the I-589 or other forms that have questions that are necessary, like, mandatory fields, you have to respond to those in the specific format. If it's not matching, of course, you are able to modify it directly here, okay? But ideally, what you want to do instead of changing it directly in the USCIS website, what you can do is modify it here. So for example, let me open the 765. When, let's see, the information is transferring. When you're done with the form, if you click on schedule, so let me close it. And again, it could be the 589, 821, like those forms. You're gonna lock the form, click on status ready schedule, and you're gonna see this window, e-filing miscellaneous fields. So there are probably, let me just show the mandatory only. There are probably times like where you have, CA instead of California, um, right? So you have to double check like this one, the formatting, so that when you get to the USCIS website, everything transfers correctly. So I'm just gonna save and schedule and then connect to the USCIS website. Okay. All right, so let me continue with my presentation. Now oops, sorry, I didn't mean to click there. For the G28, when you get to that point when you have to upload, make sure that you also schedule your G28 so that it transfers your information as well. Okay, you just need to switch to remember we have the e-filing here on the left. Just like I have my N400, I'm going to show my G28. So all I need to do is click on the G28 and it's going to connect or transfer the information just like it's transferring the N400 information. Okay. All right. Sorry, this is like way too big. So let me close this and continue. Now let me see if I have any questions. No. Okay. Now for the CBP website, let me open it again. What we're talking about is if you go to the contact profile and you are subscribed to e-filing, when you click on documents for the entries in I-94s, you're going to see this button, import from CBP. So you can click here to launch the application, or you can also do what I did, tools, e-filing, it's the same thing, as long as you launch the application. Now, of course, remember, your website is different as our website, so you have to enter that and log in. The difference between what I did earlier for e-filing, so this is the same process. Look, I'm logging in. I'm going to enter my information. And let me drag and drop my screen. Here we go. All right, so what you're going to do if you want to import from the CBP website, you're going to click on this icon. And it's going to allow you to import. Of course, I'm not going to do it because I don't have an actual client. You're going to type the name of the client. I'm just going to use my fake client here. And it's going to match what's in eIMMIGRATION and of course, connect, import all the information, I-94, entries, and you don't have to type it. Let me close this. Test it. If you guys are not subscribed to e-filing and you are interested in testing this feature, you should contact our sales team members and let them know, hey, I'm interested in e-filing. I would like a free trial so that I can, connect and see if, I think it's going to save you so much time, and we highly recommend it. Now, what happens if you're not necessarily interested in filing electronically these forms, but you want to put together the package? I'm going to show you how to gather the documents and create your cover letters and put together the package with the document assembly. But first, again, let me know if you guys have any questions about e-filing. Okay, all right, so I'm just gonna continue because I don't see any other questions coming through. Let's go back to the case profile. I don't know how you capture your client's evidence, like the documents, but if you haven't done this, I highly recommend it. You can have a specific checklist that you can customize, and it's a lot easier when you create the case, just like you have your forms checklist and you know exactly what you need to do. You also have a documents checklist that you can customize by default. So it's a lot easier for you to just select and share with the clients. That way they can upload their own evidence. They can do it from their phone too. I mean, you could send them a link, a passwordless link, and have them click on the button that says upload, and they can use that, link or use a link from WhatsApp, text message, email, any device. Okay, so it's, in my opinion, a win-win because your clients don't have to drive to your office and take the evidence. They can just do it from home. But of course, we know not everyone is tech savvy. If you need to give them a copy with a checklist, go ahead and select that and print. Give them the paper with all the, information. So it's easier. And I like to have that, translated so they know I need a PDF only, acta de nacimiento, pasaporte. So like it's easier for them. Anyway, so if they are doing it online, this is how it works. So you click share with clients, select who you are, I'm sharing maybe with the alien or the spouse, or and then email them. Let them know, hey, I need you to please log in into your portal. Um, these are the documents that I need, blah, blah, blah. So you can customize this drop down menu, as you can see where it says message template. Let me quickly show you how to do that. In your administrator portal, just kidding. Let me go back. Yeah. Okay. In your administrator portal, you're going to click on letter templates. All of these cover letters, even like contracts or just quick emails, documents that you want the system to help you auto-populate, well, you can copy paste them here under letter templates. If you are taking notes, write down letter templates and also write down this tag helper. Okay. The tag helper, which is located in the caseworker portal under the tools, allows you to find the tag a lot easier. For example, hey, I want the individual's date of birth. And I just need to click here on the left to copy to the clipboard, go back to my letter, and then if I need the date of birth on the document, I'll just paste it like this. So these are tags that allow the system to understand what you want there. I want the client's first name, I want the current state, I want my email, etc. So, I mean, these tags will help you auto-populate. It's called letter merge. And once you have the document, it's a lot easier because you can, you know, customize it so that you can link it to the process, meaning, hey, every time we do a naturalization process, we want these cover letters. Or like here, I'm sending an email, and instead of saying, dear client, blah, 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 I can just select my own templates. In fact, I'm using this one where it has like the name of the client, the case number, the phone, like, based on the tags that I chose. Okay, so I hope that helps. I'll go over those letter templates in a moment, shortly, but I want to continue with the documents section. When the client gets your email and they follow the instructions, which is probably the hardest part, and they get to log in, well, they click on Share Documents and they'll see exactly that list: passport, diploma, birth certificate. So all they need to do is click on Upload a document, drag and drop their files, And they're going to select, okay, this is my diploma, this is my passport, this is my, and so for them it's easier because they don't have to attach those to an email. For you, it's also easier because then the file is automatically attached to the corresponding request. So if the client uploaded a file that's 123 ABC, you know exactly that that is the marriage certificate. Okay. Now, another helpful tip that I want to give you, if you go into your admin portal under application settings, we have a setting that auto converts your uploaded images to PDFs. So that might be helpful. Regardless of what they upload, your files are going to be PDFs. Let me quickly try that with a client's document. Let's upload this picture. Oops, I dragged it to the wrong here. All right, so it's a JPEG, okay? And let's say this is my passport, and I'm going to select passport and then upload. Okay, it's gone. Now, my attorney, when, by the way, we're gonna email you, hey, your client uploaded a document. When you go into the case and you see documents, excuse me, you're gonna see the upload date. See how the like the type of file is no longer a JPEG, but it's a PDF. And it makes it easier because you can click select view and I can preview the document without downloading it. So this is a must in my opinion because it's so easy for them and you. Okay. Another benefit of using the documents upload feature from Serenade is that I can run a report and say, give me a list of clients, which clients haven't uploaded which documents, because it will tell me the ones that don't have an upload date. Okay? Or vice versa. All right, so now I need to, let me go back to the other case that I was working on. Oh, well, I can use this one. So now I need to create okay, here we go. Now I need to create the actual package. Okay, so I've got the forms ready. I have the evidence ready. Actually, you know what? I will use that one because it does have the passport that I just uploaded. Okay, let's use that one. So I've got the forms, I have the evidence, and notice we have letters. So this is where you have your cover letters ready. And of course, remember, you can customize them. So I can modify the letter here. I can add information. Let me use a different one. So like I need to modify, add, or remove, I can do that. And the benefit is that it can be turned into a PDF, Word, or I can even email it from here. Okay, so I can preview how the information populated, etc. So I highly recommend that you guys use the cover letters, the letter templates. Okay, now click on Document Assembly and click New. So you can have like different versions of the package. I'll use, start with the one for my client. We have maybe the public access file. So now I'm going to select the forms that I want and move them into the package by clicking on this blue bar. I can remove a form or, now the evidence, select, the cover letters, select, and then move. I can click and drag. So if I want the passport here, the document goes here. The cover letter goes here. So you guys will put together the package the way you want it. Just drag and drop, and then create your table of contents. The system updates the page numbers accordingly. And I'm going to click Save Changes. Now, before we used to have the option just to email. Now we have the option to download or email. And before, if you would email the package, you could add the footer page numbering and the caption. Well, now, if you decide to just download the package, now you can say download and add this footer caption and the numbering. and then initiate the package. All right, so it's up to you, but that way you can have the package in your computer. So let me do it again. I'll just say download with this footer caption and numbering, initiate, and redirect me, which means that it's preparing my package. Obviously, it might take longer if you have a lot of documents, but once it's ready, you can download from here. Keep in mind these job requests will remove 5 days from the update date, which is this one. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions about the document assembly. What happens when you have questions after today's demo or webinar? You can call us Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Pacific Standard Time, except on holidays. That's our phone number if you want to write it down, or even better, download this PowerPoint presentation. You could email us 24/7. Also, from your home screen, you can click on technical support and send us a message or send your feedback to developers. We have the user's guide that I went over earlier. You can click on the link. We do these trainings for free on Fridays at 10 a.m. and we record them. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel on YouTube called Serenade Academy. You may also join the Facebook forum page or listen to our podcast. It's called Serenade Snacks. Let us know if you want to participate. Although right now people are not willing to do anything but file the forms before April 1st, right? Before the filing fees goes up, they go up. We probably don't have time to record a podcast right now. Anyway, so here's a did you know section. Did you know that we have a timekeeper? Did you know that we have translations options for intake forms or the tag helper? So I added these links so that you can click on the links and learn more about here's a document assembly we talked about. Here's the e-filing, the CBP website that I mentioned, the ability to import data from there, etc. So you have different features. If you're interested in like AI features like the summarizer, let us know. These are the trainings that we have for the month of March. We're doing a client portal related features, how to efficiently obtain your client's evidence, just like we talked today, how to send them the links, avoid the stress and organize your practice with eIMMIGRATION, etc. So for the month of April, these are the trainings. Now, an easier way to access these links, just so you know, it's right here, training calendar. So just click on the training calendar link and it's going to take you to this website, serenade.com/events. So you can click on the links and register like just you did that for today's training. All right, so please connect with us. We want to hear from you. If you have questions, especially after you test the e-filing module, let us know if you're interested in subscribing or upgrading your package. Let me see if you guys have any questions. Once USCIS, I'm reading a question. And it says, once USCIS updates a form, how long does it usually take for Serenade to update their form? It really depends because sometimes the updates are not drastical, like or drastic changes. So it might be just a few hours. It really depends on the form. But we do have a policy that your form will be ready before the USCIS mandate date. So don't worry. You will see there's like a little clock when there's a new version of the form. So if you worked on the form that's been updated, will give you the opportunity to use the old form if still applicable, meaning if USCIS is still accepting the older version. Okay, but yeah, you'll have the form. I can't tell you a week, a day, an hour, because it really depends on the type of form and the number of updates. And because we have our own forms technology, our team goes through the testing, process of making sure everything populates correctly. So yeah, that's why. Thank you for the question. Any other questions before we end today's webinar? Please let me know. If you have to disconnect, don't forget to download the PowerPoint presentation. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. So it's called Serenade Academy. This is where we upload all of our videos, and make sure again that um, that you subscribe and then you watch the videos. Let us know that you like them. Here's like the summarizer. It doesn't, it's just a 2-minute video, almost 3 minutes, but it's important that you guys are aware of what's included or what's available. And so if you have to disconnect, thank you so much for attending today's webinar and have a great weekend. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. You too. Have a great weekend. All right, so I don't see any other questions. I'll end the session. But again, on behalf of Serenade, thank you for joining us today. Bye bye.